I'm learning to pause before I speak, and let me tell you, it is not easy. As someone whose natural instinct is to interrupt, it almost feels like I'm doing something wrong when I'm not sharing all of my secrets with every single person I ever come in contact with. But here's the thing, the second that I stopped telling people what I was planning on doing, what I would love to do, what I wanted in my life, how I felt my life should be going, was when I started catching myself doing what I was planning, doing what I loved, getting what I wanted in life, and overall feeling better about where my life was. Why though? Why did I start seeing results when I stopped telling people about my life when all the gurus tell you, tell the universe, and the universe will deliver? Well, for multiple reasons. So let's talk about it. Number one is tone shifting. I started realizing that when I talked about what I wanted with people who knew nothing about my business or the topic at hand, my tone of voice would instantly change because I would either get annoyed that I had to explain or re explain it. And it wasn't an instant, fuck yeah, you deserve this. Or I'd find myself defending why I wanted it. And when that tone shift happens, it changes the tone of how you feel about the topic that you want to do or pursue. Number two is that people are inherently selfish. So, whether this is a taught behavior or their human design, people think that you want their opinion and not their support. So, be careful of whose opinion you're opening up to. I remember when my sister told me about this concept, it blew my fucking mind because I asked her, I'm like, why do people keep telling me their opinions of the things that I'm doing? And she's like, because you keep telling them what you're doing. And when like it's such a simple concept, but at the same time, it makes so much sense because they thought by me telling them what I was planning on doing, what I wanted out of my business, what I wanted out of my life, that I was asking for critique and criticism versus their support and them being like, nice job, I'm proud of you. And it's funny because as we get older, you would think that people would just support what you're doing since you're an adult and you've had experience in life and you know what you want in life. Whereas kids were like in a learning experience. So they're trying, parents or adult figures or teachers or people that are just even been there, done that, are inherently trying to teach you when you're younger than them. And it's not the same thing. When you're an adult, you should be able to tell people what you are doing in life without any critique. That's just not how it is. Number three is different energetic levels. So humans are energy. Regardless of if you believe in raising your frequency or manifesting what you want, sharing your ideas and your positive thoughts with people who don't match your energy is leaving your idea and thought vulnerable to their energy, to their specific energy. So if someone is jealous of you or constantly makes you feel negatively, energetically different, that's a mouthful. If somebody is constantly making you feel energetically different in a negative way after you've been with them or talked with them, most likely they are going to be doing the same thing to your ideas and your thoughts. In the book Big Magic, they talk about ideas being living entities and how when an idea comes to you, it's because it believes that you can help them exist. You can help that idea come alive. So when you tarnish that idea, the likelihood of you following through with it will significantly decrease. And eventually that idea will detach itself from you and find somebody who's willing and able to follow through with it on the positive energy levels that they exist on. Number four is the pressure. Now, this one might feel iffy to some people, but just hear me out. Have you ever noticed when you tell someone that you like something or you tell them that you're interested in something, they constantly talk to you or buy you something around that topic? Have you ever felt that way when you told someone that what you wanted to do? For instance, if you tell someone that you want to start painting, people in your life might start asking you, hey, how's painting going? Or have you painted anything lately? And every time they see you, they'll ask you this. This can feel like pressure to paint. And we all know pressure for a creative is only good when it's a deadline or weighted blanket. If you're new here, then you may not know this about me, but a few years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and my hyperfixations growing up were intense, so intense that I didn't even know that it was a hyperfixation. Clearly, I'm late diagnosed. I would passionately talk about a new thing as if I was going to be doing it forever. And my family would start buying me gifts based off of those fixations, even if it wasn't my birthday or Christmas. It would be a small thing here or there that they saw at the store while they were grocery shopping or running errands. But they would think of me because I would constantly talk about this topic, which was great until that hyperfixation ended and I was still getting gifts around those topics. I would feel so guilty, or I would feel pressure to keep that topic going or that hyperfixation going. And then I would never actually follow through with it. The same goes with telling somebody my ideas. As soon as I tell somebody my ideas and they start asking, they start asking me questions consistently about it, when in my mind, I have a timeline of when I'm going to start it, when I'm going to be able to do it, or things just keep coming up. If somebody's constantly asking you if you've done that idea yet, it's going to put a bad taste in your mouth. You're going to feel pressure to do it. The pressure is not going to make it fun anymore. And it's going to feel like a weight on your shoulders, which we all know when it comes to business, if it feels heavy, we're most likely not going to be able to do it. And finally, idea theft. I know we have to talk about it, excuse me, because sadly it's real and still happens today. The more that I talk about my ideas to people, the more I notice that they start to do it before I could. This always left me feeling shitty. And even though it was my original idea, I felt like I couldn't follow through with it. Now, I know that that shouldn't be the thing, that shouldn't be reality, because honestly, it makes no sense at all. As Mark Twain once said, there is no such thing as a new idea. It is impossible. We simply take a lot of old ideas and put them into a sort of mental kaleidoscope. We give them a turn, and then we make new and curious combinations. We keep on turning and making new combinations indefinitely, but they are the same old pieces of colored glass that we have been using through all of the ages. This concept makes me think, okay, so even though somebody's using my idea, I know that my idea is going to come across differently because it's coming from me. However, this idea theft really does weigh on people when it comes to following through with things, because it's extremely hard to not be in your own head of, am I copying them? Are people going to think I'm copying them? Should I do it even though they did it better than me? Imposter syndrome starts seeping in when idea theft takes over. And this is why I stopped oversharing what I was hoping to happen in my life or what I was hoping to happen within my business. And I started to waiting to share what happened in my life. So past tense. So for example, outside of business, if I would say that I want to go on vacation, I would start saying, wow, let me start that over. For example, outside of business, the I want to go on a vacation started sounding like, oh, I really want to go on vacation, which made this amazing vacation that I had in my head or that I wanted to go on sound like a burden, an annoyance, something that I was never actually going to follow through with, especially when I would share it with people who didn't value spending money on a vacation or would get jealous that I was even thinking about going on a vacation, which would prolong me from ever going on that vacation. Now I actively wait, I pause before I speak, and I ask myself, is there any way sharing this will alter the outcome? And if the answer is even slightly yes, I try my hardest to continue to wait. And when I say I try my hardest to continue to wait, I mean, I genuinely have to fight myself from speaking the words that are on the tip of my tongue that I'm thinking about, because with ADHD comes the inability to just keep your mouth shut sometimes. And I remember my dad used to always say, loose lips sink ships. And I never fully understood what that meant until now, as a 30-something-year-old, where I would tell people something and all of a sudden that ship would sink because either they would ruin it, I would ruin it, and the idea was no longer this bright, positive idea. And I wanted to share that with you today because I've realized that my business has significantly grown the more I keep things to myself or with a trusted companion or a group of people. If you're looking for a person to confide in, about your ideas, I highly recommend talking to a coach that you trust, finding a business bestie, or finding that one person that you can really go to and be like, hey, I don't want your opinion. I just want your excitement. And let them know exactly what you're looking for before speaking. Because while it's hard to keep things to ourselves, because we do get really excited, it's really important to make sure that we set those boundaries. And if you need help setting boundaries, go ahead and check out my episode all about setting boundaries for business and how setting boundaries can help you grow your business. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, bye guys.